Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That was a rather serious introduction. Why did you smile? Okay, I love smiling. It's something that is, I think, the most inherent part of my nature. But we're not here to talk about my smile, are we?
Yes.
Oh, yes, yeah, okay. Okay, let's talk about why I'm happy. I mean, I think one of the things that most of us are constantly seeking in life is happiness, right? We seek success because we believe that success defines happiness. We seek all kinds of opportunities in life that we believe will give us the ability to find happiness. I'm going to explore three things that I really have been thinking a lot about over the last 2 days. I've been talking to you in my head for over 48 hours, just FYI. Not because talks like this make me nervous, but because there's that timer that's ticking like a bomb right in front of me, making me very conscious of how little I have and how much I want to say to you, but I'm going to try and concise the thought as well as I can. So I've been thinking, I've been having a conversation with you in my head over the last 48 hours. And there are many things about my life in the recent past that I wanted to share with you, and I thought that maybe it will contribute to your idea of happiness. Because there is one thing that you can't contend with me in this room, and that is that I think that I am really happy. I've been happier in the last few years than I've possibly been ever in life. Does that mean that I'm not disappointed? Sure I am. Does that mean that I don't have hurdles to overcome? Sure I do. Does that mean that what's happening in the world doesn't make me feel like going under a rock and hiding and never coming back out because I feel that humanity is failing at too many levels? Yes, I do. But there are things about my life that I have opened up to that have really shifted my perspective, my focus, and contribute significantly to my happiness. I'll start with age 3. I was all of 3, and my father's carpenters came home with a baby python. You know the Tic Tac boxes, those little plastic boxes? I'm sure you're familiar with those. We have a lot of plastic packaging around us. Practically everything around us is in plastic these days. But anyway, so in that Tic Tac box was a baby python. It was about that big. And that was my first pet. I lived in Hyderabad. We were surrounded by rocks, big volcanic rocks, lots of greenery, streams, big trees, lots of nature surrounding us. And well, when you live close to nature, nature comes visits you, you know, birds come and visit you, snakes come and visit you, frogs, tadpoles, all of that. So my first pet was a python. And I think when I was about 5.5, my mother forced my father to release the python back into the rocks, into the hilly area. And it broke my heart. I was attached to this python. I didn't want to see it go away. When I was about 8 years old, I think my mother was facing a financial crunch and she didn't know what present to get me because she didn't have enough money to buy me one. So she decided to surprise me. She blindfolded me, took me out onto my terrace and unfolded my eyes, and there was this glorious full moon in the sky. And she pointed to the moon and she said, "From today, that is yours. This is my present to you on your 8th birthday." That present did something for me. It kind of shifted a worldview or a perspective. I think it gave me something at a very young age that few things in life can. I think it gave me a sense of belonging. It made me feel that everything that surrounds me, not just the trees and these frogs and butterflies and birds and tadpoles, and I was growing up in the 80s, I'm not sure whether, I know this campus has a lot of birds and lakes, but I'm not sure whether very many of us urban dwellers today have the advantage of being exposed to that level of interaction with environment as perhaps I was when I was growing up in the 80s. But what that did for me that gift was it kind of made me feel a connection with all that is around me. And I'm talking about when you grow up with a sense of knowledge that you own the moon, everything else seems kind of insignificant. It kind of pales in comparison. And it's a marvelous thought, right? Does a tree charge you money to give you oxygen? It gives it to you for free. Does the river accord a tax to how much you can drink from it? No, it doesn't. So the adage is probably right. It is right, actually, that all good things in life do come for free. And every natural resource that is abundant, was abundant, is diminishing drastically. This beautiful talk just before mine kind of illustrated how people now in urban dwellings are trying to find ways to create better ecosystems and make urban life more sustainable. But the fact is that I think somewhere along the line, we have disconnected ourselves from nature. There was a time when we lived very close to nature. We had to find a way to coexist. And today, because our lives are so removed from nature, we kind of exist independently. So our aspirations, our dreams, our desires, our wants are kind of disconnected from the idea of being one with the environment, or being one with nature, or even feeling a sense of belonging or ownership of nature. And it is really our richest treasure. I realized this richness when I went back into the forest 10 years ago. It was one of the many opportunities that my public life gave me to interact with wonderful people who were engaged in doing some wonderful work in conservation. And I went back into the forest and I was driving through the forest, and suddenly it hit me. I said, for centuries, man has been writing poetry, painting, singing, creating music in reverence and love for nature. And this modernization that is existing around us, that is occurring around us, seems to be forgetting all of that, because all the areas of life that have come into being, that form a service of convenience, are actually destroying the environment. So my husband says that one of his favorite inventions of the last 100 years is the air conditioner. And I'm like, my God, whoever did that wasn't thinking right. Because while it is something that makes us comfortable, it's also something that's destroying the environment every day. So like that, there are many, many more examples of the things that we've created to make life simpler, to make life more accessible, to make life more convenient. But we kind of lost track of the larger picture in doing so. Now, of course, the world is backtracking. We're all hearing everybody talk about sustainability, how important it is, climate change, etc. So, this visit to the forest put across a wonderful thought in my mind that I've actually drawn great inspiration from, and it's actually influenced many of my choices. Choices that have nothing to do with sustainability or the environment directly, but choices in my consumerism, in choices in how I live every day. What are the things that I want, and what are the things that I really need? So everything in the forest performs a function, a special duty. The smallest microorganism to the largest mammal. Nothing in the forest goes to waste, ever. Not one thing. If any one of you can come up with one thing in the forest that goes waste, I'll be very surprised. And it makes you think that there are no hierarchies here in the forest. Everybody is performing a function. Everything is performing a duty. And nothing that exists in nature is wasted. And it makes you wonder why society can't be like that. But we're social creatures. We have other things to cater to, like vanity, like beauty, like the idea of I want more, and more is never enough. So, When I came back from the forest, and I continue to go there, I was there last week in Kaziranga, blown away, in complete wonder, in absolute amazement of this beauty that surrounds us. And I'm always thinking about what is it that we can do to help people form a better relationship with nature. Can I talk about how wonderful it is, but unless you see it yourself and experience it yourself, you will not know. So, the only way that I can urge you to form a relationship with nature is to assure you that when you do, it will actually improve your productivity in life. It will actually make you a more positive, more compassionate, more caring individual. And in that, you might find that you are more happy than you could have possibly ever been. The one of the many things that we talk about today is also success. I mean, we're hearing about how there are 8 million people in this country below the age of 35. I'm included in that list. Yes, I'm still below the age of 35. And you think about their aspirations, and you think about their idea of success, and you realize that the world is moving towards urbanization. So there will be more cities, fewer forests, lesser nature, and many of us and our idea of growth and success is attached to material gain. And I'm not saying become a bodhisattva. I'm not saying form a detachment, because I haven't managed that. I don't think it takes another level of human being. And I'm not saying we should all go live in the mountain or the forest and stop living the lives that we are today. But I'm just wondering whether we can become aware, a little more aware about what we are doing, why we're doing it, and whether we can, in our own way, find means to reduce our consumption. So I've noticed in the last few years that my bonds have reduced drastically. I don't want too many things anymore. I'm happy with most of what I have. You look at me and say, but then you possibly have more than what most other people do, and I think that's a very relative thing. So I would say that it's a very personal choice. It's something that awareness of any kind, especially this understanding that everything that you use in your daily life is taken from nature. And if you're not finding a way to give back to it, then maybe it might make sense to find a way to curb or contain how much you want to take from it. And so maybe in the last 5 years I would have bought 3 cars. I haven't. Maybe in the last 5 years I would have spent an exorbitant amount of money doing foolish things in the past that would have made me very happy momentarily, that I stopped doing. What this has also done for me is that it's made me identify another beautiful thing in the forest. That all nature exists to give something. Every single part of the wildlife and nature, forests, animals, plants, bacteria, everything, all of it exists because its purpose is to contribute to life, to make a difference. And I think the one thing that brings me greatest joy is to find an opportunity to make a difference. Nothing has given me more happiness than the knowledge that I've touched a life, or I've helped somebody, or I've found a way to make a difference. And my goals and my aspirations and my idea of success are all shaped by this desire to make a difference. And it's incredible, right? When you help a friend, it makes you really happy. When you help an animal, it makes you really happy. I'm using simple examples because I don't want to make I don't want to overwhelm you with how large our problems are in society, and we have very many. But if we can identify what are those things around us that we can make a difference, contribute in making a difference towards, then we will find that there's a lot of happiness. The most amazing thing about being young in today's times is this, that what we do and how we feel and the fact that we want to make a difference don't have to be separate from the job we're doing. So I find that being an actor, I can actually reach out to more people and find a way to make a difference in every day of my life. And that contributes to more happiness than anything else around me. So yes, it means a lot when you win an award or you get applause or love. But it means so much more when you know you've educated children, or you know you're helping spread awareness on a cause that needs awareness, or you know that you held hands with a forest guard who nobody really asks about or cares for. And that joy then improves your productivity. It has improved my productivity. It's made me a more positive human being. And I really, really wish and hope that each of you here who's standing at the cusp of new beginnings, a new life, new opportunities, new adventures, you can find in you the ability to develop a relationship with nature and relish what it gives you, and that in turn helps you make a difference and live a more meaningful, full and happy life. Thank you.
Very interesting and insightful.